Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be telling you my top 10 flowers that you can sow seeds of right now in February. So I'm going to give you what the list is. I'm just going to put that list down there in the description. I'm also, where I have done previous videos on how to germinate these seeds, I'm going to put in a YouTube information linky thing right there. Obviously not now because I haven't got one to tell you about, but when I do I'll point at it and that link will come up, and if you wanted to you can click on that and it'll take you straight to that video, but you can always wait to the end of this video. So what I'm going to do is first of all tell you what those 10 are, and then I'm going to go through them one by one just quickly to tell you why I've chosen those ones and the best way to germinate them. I'm going to start off with the easiest ones to germinate, and they get progressively harder as they go on, depending on how much equipment you have. If you've got all the equipment, then it will all be very easy. So let's get on with it. Let me tell you what the 10 are. Of course, there are so many other plants that you can choose, but I'm recommending these ones. Each of them I'll have a reason for. Ooh. Let's get comfortable. So I'm just going to read these out, then I'll put the list in the description so you can always refer to that at any point in time. Okay, so it's sweet peas, it's Antirrhinums, otherwise known as bunny rabbits if you're an American, or snapdragons if you're sensible in English. Sunflowers, Ricinus, which is your castor oil plant, in particular the Impala red one. Pansies, Petunias, Geraniums, Marigolds. I do like those African marigolds, not that they are from Africa. Morning glories, which are Ipomias. I saw an absolutely gorgeous one that was had naturalized somewhere in Lanzarote. I'll show you a little video of that because that thing was absolutely beautiful, and being right by the sea just made it all the better. And the last one and not least is the begonias. That's the begonia semperflorens. The reason why I'm choosing that one, I'll tell you now, is because it is one of the best bedding plants that you can plant for not being eaten by slugs. So remember that. Of all your bedding plants, that is the most slug resistance. So begonia semperflorens. So let's get to it. Let's go one by one. I don't want to take all down these, and you certainly don't want to hear me waffling on for hours and 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 hours. And those. First one, sweet peas. Sweet peas are super easy. We have already done a video on this one. The info card link from YouTube, I'm just going to stick right there, so you can click on that. That takes you straight to it, but you don't have to do it just yet. The thing I like about the sweet peas is that they don't require any heat whatsoever to germinate. You can germinate them around about November, and if you miss the opportunity, you can germinate them now in February. Just be aware that they do need a long module, so you can either buy some root trainers, which are a bit expensive, or you can do it the not the cheapskate way, but the morally superior way of using toilet roll loo holders, the center bit of cardboard, and use those, and that way you've got a decent amount of drop for the taproot to go down, because they do establish a decent taproot system, and it will perform better if you can maintain that and then plant it in. And with the toilet roll, you can plant the whole thing in the ground, because it will just rot away and release nutrition back into the soil. Now, the reason why I like these is not only because they are extremely well scented, you have a huge range, but if you're producing fruits and vegetables in your garden that require pollinating, then because of the strong fragrance of the sweet pea, it will attract pollinators into your garden area, then it will help to pollinate your other crops. And this is a trick that is used in many places, but also by King Charles III.
Get on with it, idiot.
Bit rude. At his personal garden in Highgrove. The next one are your Antirrhinums, commonly known as bunny rabbits if you're an American, or if you're English, and won't go any further than that, snapdragons, which are wonderful because if you press the sides of those flower buds, they'll open like a little snappy mouth. So I really like those. But the thing I like them about the most is the fact that they will reseed and they will regerminate actually in the garden where you are. So that is a hardy annual, because actually quite often if you do have a mild winter, the parent plants also come through. So not only do you get the parent plants surviving during mild winters, they'll also reseed themselves, and you have another batch coming through. So, and that is great, and really the colours are fantastic. So for a spring, early summer display, really strong colours. It's a great plant. Really like that one. And when you come to sowing it, again, you don't need to put any heat on them. If you place them on a seed tray, place that on a bright, warm windowsill in your home. They do require light to germinate, so just place them on the surface of the soil, you can press them in, and then just give a thin layer of something like grit sand or perlite or vermiculite, and they'll germinate very easily. So Antirrhinums, yeah, it's great. It's great. Next one is sunflowers. An American plant. Promise won't do that anymore. And if you need me to tell you why they are brilliant, then maybe gardening is not for you. Again, you don't need any heat. Again, do you know what, they will do better sown outside directly in the position they're going to be growing into. Trouble is, as soon as they start to emerge, they are at risk from slugs and snails. So here in the UK, with our wet winters, they are better off started off in modules, and like the sweet peas, they do need a long module. So root trainers, toilet rolls is the word of the day. So plant them up, put them on the warm, bright windowsill, and they'll germinate, but you might need to keep them under protection really until the threat of late frosts have passed. And now this next lot is going to be heated propagators. First one are Ricinus. Ricinus communis, commonly known as the castor oil plant, is a really lovely architectural effect plant. Particularly the giant varieties and the dark leaf varieties. I particularly like Impala because it doesn't get too big, and assuming you have a long hot summer, you're going to get big leaves and a really rich dark purple coloration on them too. Now, very easy to propagate, but you do need a heated propagator. Plant them in modules so that you've got one seed per module. Plant them about 1/4 of an inch deep, water it in, and really, if you're running at about 20 degrees Celsius, then you can expect these start germinating in about a week. They're very fast. And you might say, Simon, that's not a flower, it's a foliage plant. But on the red varieties, the blooms that come out of it are actually rather attractive, and I do quite like those. So I suppose this is a bit more of a personal choice, because I do like Ricinus, and I do like the weird looking flowers. Not on the green ones. The green ones, they don't show so much, but the red ones are really good. So I'm sticking it in my top 10. Oh, and also where we found in the last couple of years that where we've left the seed pods in place and they've fallen on the floor, we've had them self-sowing come the spring again. So that would say it is, how much is that? Hardy annual. Produces seed, grows from seed, produces seed, and then germinates from viable seed in the winter. So that's naturalized. So that's a plant that on the south coast of the UK is beginning to show signs of naturalization, which is very interesting if you're a boring old fart like me. Oh, forgot. There's a link there for the sunflower video, because we did a video on how to germinate sunflowers from seed, and just let that one pass the bit now. And this next one is also for the Ricinus seeds. So we did a video on how to propagate Ricinus from seeds. Forgetful, age and forgetfulness. Right, the next one are your Pansies and Violas, because they're all pretty similar, lovely little things. If you keep these dead-headed throughout the growing period, they will keep on flowering, and if you do allow them to go to seed, then the seeds themselves will germinate and you'll have even more Pansies, Violas. So it's a fantastic plant to grow. So if you're going to grow them at home from seed, then you need your heated propagator again. Put down your compost, put your seeds on the surface of the compost, and then sort of press them in, but don't put a cover on top. Put them somewhere light and bright. Temperature will be again about 20 degrees Celsius, and because you've only just put them on the surface, then watering can be coming. So you can't just chuck water on, because it just lifts all the seeds out. So you can use a little spray bottle, or you can water from the base, however you want to do it, but they will germinate quite quickly. But Pansies is brilliant. Petunias are next, and I love these because these will literally flower throughout the year until temperatures get too cold. All you got to do is just keep deadheading, and they'll just keep blooming. So make sure they do get regularly fertilized, otherwise they will run out of steam and look a bit weak. Like your violas, you'll place those on a regular seed tray, put them on the surface. This time you can put like a slight covering of grit sand, perlite, vermiculite, something that allows the light in, because it does need the light in order to help initiate germination. 20 degrees Celsius. And then the watering is the same issue. If you use like a fine mister, or very small fine rows, so that you don't disturb the seeds once they are in place, or water from underneath. But whatever you do, keep the soil moist but not waterlogged. If you want that Mediterranean feel and that really lovely scent, although I didn't used to like the scent, but I do quite like the scent now, then you've got your geraniums, and again you keep these dead-headed and they will flower throughout the growing season. And I've even seen them in flower over Christmas down here in mild winters. Growing them is very easy. It's the same as the petunias, 20 degrees Celsius. Put them on the surface, put a light covering of grit sand, perlite or vermiculite, and again same issue with the watering. But very easy to grow, thoroughly recommended. Unless they go mouldy, you get that brown mould, so I don't like that. So if you are buying seeds, keep an eye out to see if you can find some fungal resistant cultivars. Now marigolds are next, and we have done a video on how to germinate marigolds, and I'll stick the information tag right there if you want to click on that. You need a slightly higher temperature with marigolds. You just place these seeds on the surface of a regular seed tray, water it in as best you can. You might sort of try and push them in, but you don't want to be moving around the seeds too much. But to be honest with you, once they're in place and once they are damp, they germinate so quickly. You're looking at a couple of days in some cases, really quick. My favourite ones are the African marigolds, because you've got some bulk to them. Really like those, but there's plenty. There are plenty to choose from. And the good thing about them is that because they're quite scented, they're often used as companion planting in salad crops in order to deter pests. But you need to check which pests and which plants it is a companion to, if that is what you want to use it for. Right, this next one is the first and only climber annual flowering plant that we're going to be talking about, and that is the Ipomia. Use your morning glory, and I love these. They do have a fantastic tropical look to the garden and very easy to grow. You just need to soak the seeds for a couple of hours in warm tepid water. I haven't done a video for this plant, although we will be growing them this year and planting them out in the courtyard, so that video will turn up at some point. Again, a higher temperature between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. Place them on the surface of the soil. I'd use a modular tray on these, so just got one per module, and then put a light covering of grit sand, vermiculite, perlite, so you can still get light to the seeds. Keep the surface of the compost permanently moist, but try not to have all the compost soaking wet. So again, you're going to have a little sprayer out there to spray water on that. Germinating is erratic. You can probably expect it starting from as early as 7 days and really up to about a month. So just because they haven't all started at the same time doesn't mean they're not all going to start coming out. But yeah, really lovely plant, and it's so evocative of the tropics and subtropics. Oh, I'm going to sit back down again for the last one, and well done for watching it this far. We're talking about begonia seeds again. Now, begonia seeds are extremely fine. You're really going to struggle trying to get those applied to a compost. So what's normally done in the industry is that you mix up your begonia seeds with silver sand. So it's a very light, very fine silver sand, and not huge amounts of it, because what you're going to do, you're going to mix up the sand and the seeds, and you're going to apply that to the surface of a compost. And you're not going to put anything else on top of that. The temperature you'll need in the heat propagator needs to be higher, about 27 degrees Celsius. So a regular heat propagator might not do the trick. You might need one with variable temperatures on it in order to get it high enough. And you're also going to need to give it additional lighting. You're looking at between 12 and 18 hours per day of additional light from proper horticultural grow lamps. So That's the hardest one, but like I say, I've recommended that one because it is such a tough old plant. And be honest with you, even in the UK on the south coast, you can grow them, leave them out to rot back in the winter, and come the spring you still get a lot of those coming through. Not all of them, you will get some losses, but that's how tough they are. And like I say, if you've got a slug problem, these are the best of all your flowering annuals to put in order to mitigate the damage of those evil mollusks. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 recommended flowers that you can sow seeds for right now in February. And if there's any suggestions that you would like to add, any excellent flowers that you would be doing yourself, then you're more than welcome to put that information in the comments, so that other people who do read the comments, because they will see that too, and it will enlarge their mind as to what they can do come the spring. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next episode. But before I go, just one last thing about how you can support this channel by watching us on Instagram. Let me be honest with you, there is not a lot going on because it's still very, very early on in the year, but as soon as things like that happen, there'll be a lot more information going on that Instagram that you will not get to see on this channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, see you next video. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's got a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.